Oh my God, that I do. Somebody please say it ain't so. It sounds like Jay-Z is in hot water again. He already got his son Ramir taking him to court to get that paternity test. Now you got news of R. Kelly allegedly claiming that it was Jay-Z that tried to take his life in jail. You got prisoners coming home from jail speaking about what R. Kelly told them about Jay-Z in jail. Now this news is spilling over into the streets. R. Kelly sounding like he low on dough and he about to write a tell-all book, and 90% of that book is going to be about Jay-Z because Jay-Z was with Aaliyah. Jay-Z was with Rihanna. Jay-Z was with Foxy Brown. Jay-Z is currently with Beyonce, who he allegedly met while she was underage. R. Kelly got a whole lot of beans to spill, but somebody trying to put a shell in his taco before he get out of jail.
Prison officials want R. Kelly dead. You heard me. The government, they say, has put a target on the singer in prison.
The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging.
Like the days before the event, he was getting death threats that he felt like was coming from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z was trying to basically, it may sound outrageous, but he felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him killed for whatever reason.
Have you maintained any type of contact with R. Kelly since?
We spoke, like, you know what I'm saying, we spoke a couple times, but I don't really want to be like, I know he's getting calls from everywhere, and I mean, if he's guilty, I just hope and pray that he get help. If he's not, I wish everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody embrace him, you know, and whatever.
When Jordan was in there doing basketball boys, you can't tell me Jordan see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap.
R. Kelly just got rushed to the hospital, and this ain't no minor scare. His lawyer says it looks like a straight-up poisoning attempt. And the name being whispered in the shadows? Jay-Z. Yeah, that Jay-Z. And behind him, Roc Nation.
R. Kelly was giving an additional dose of medication by prison staff, and they're alleging that because of that additional medication that he was instructed to take and that he actually took, he suffered a overdose.
What's being called a murder plot might go all the way to the top. According to Kelly's legal team, a man allegedly hired to kill him just confessed. And get this, he says he was sent by someone terrified of what Kelly might spill. Dangerous secrets, industry-shaking receipts, the kind of dirt that could destroy big names. And right at the front of that list, Jay-Z, who used to roll tight with Kelly back in the day.
I'm pulling with the big boy truck, nigga, big boy truck. We be the only big boys that the big boy buy. Go get him, Kel.
But this ain't even the first time fingers have pointed toward Hav. Kelly's old cellmate, Ronnie Bo, claims Kelly told him years ago that Jay tried to sacrifice him.
I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati sacrifice type shit. I don't know. He don't know. You know what I mean? But how you feel.
You heard that right? Sacrifice. And we know Kelly and Jay-Z had a whole run together before they suddenly fell out. Jay tried to distance himself later, saying he had no clue about Kelly's mess behind the scenes. But insiders, they're saying otherwise. Some say Jay was involved in the same dirty game.
Into the album about women with him, I'm definitely maybe indulging. He had to be indulging some 14-year-olds, man. That's what I'm saying. What I'm here for the people, man. I'm here to talk the truth.
And then it gets even hotter. Nas stepped into the convo recently and called out Jay-Z's alleged role in Kelly's mess. Why now? What's about to come out? Just when Kelly hinted that he was finally ready to air everything out, boom, he collapses after being given meds by prison staff and ends up in critical condition. That ain't no coincidence. Somebody clearly wants to shut him up for good. So here's the real question. What does R. Kelly know that has Roc Nation shaking in their designer boots? And why are people tied to Jay-Z always popping up when cover-ups hit the fan? This is just the beginning, because whatever Kelly's holding back might be explosive enough to blow the lid off the whole industry.
Y'all want to know what the craziest part is? When Jay-Z and R. Kelly was tight, they was tight. R. Kelly was Jay-Z's mans. He would go to bat for R. Kelly. A lot of those interviews when the accusations first started coming out, Jay-Z was playing it cool. Like, R. Kelly, all right, that's my guy. He wouldn't do nothing like that. They were so close. They made 2 albums together. And then all of a sudden, they became enemies.
Jay-Z should have kept his motherfucking close. Because everybody in the industry, they not going to tell you. But everybody know in the industry that Jay-Z was talking to young girls.
Kelly's lawyer just dropped another bomb. He says Kelly was denied medical help in prison for months, even though he kept complaining about symptoms that could have killed him. This ain't no simple mistake. It's starting to look like someone wanted him gone.
So they say that Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots. He got up and he fell. He crawled to the door of the cell and he lost consciousness then. At that point, he was placed on a gurney. He was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital because they tried to take him to the hospital inside of or associated with the facility that he's in, but they couldn't help him, so they took him to an outside hospital. Now, they say in addition to this incident, this overdose, right, they're also pointing to the fact that R. Kelly allegedly has been asking for months to get some medical attention to a swollen leg. R. Kelly's legal team says that once he was taken to the hospital for this overdose situation, R. Kelly brought up the swollen leg, and they allege that doctors there then took a look at the swollen leg and they found blood clots in R. Kelly's right leg, allegedly, in his left leg, in his lungs, allegedly. But his legal team alleges that once the prison was contacted, R. Kelly was then removed against his will by guards and was not allowed to be treated.
And what led up to this is straight up chilling. According to court docs obtained by USA Today, things got shady right after Kelly was thrown into solitary. That's when prison staff allegedly dosed him up with way more meds than he's ever taken, supposedly for anxiety and sleep. But Kelly's team says it was basically an overdose, and that's what sent him to the hospital on June 13th. And to make it even more suspicious, they claim he was yanked out of Duke University Hospital against medical advice. The doctors reportedly warned he shouldn't be moved, but guess what? They moved him anyway. Kelly's lawyers aren't holding back. They say this was a targeted hit. And here's where it gets even crazier. This all went down just days after Kelly begged to be released, saying he feared for his life. He even claimed another prisoner was paid to take him out. On June 11th, Kelly's lawyer, Bob Brindley, wrote a wild statement to USA Today. He said federal officers tried to get Kelly killed because Kelly's ready to expose corruption behind his prosecutions. Brindley didn't stop there. He went on News Nation and said they got a sworn statement from an inmate named Michael Stein, who said he was offered an early release if he took out R. Kelly.
In terms of proof, the most powerful piece of proof I can provide is the sworn statement of the man who says that he was solicited to kill R. Kelly. Michael Glenn Stein has provided us with a full declaration signed, and he's given his willingness to sit down for a polygraph examination administered by either side to testify in court. He has given us the details of who solicited him and when. And I think that's the key here. These are not R. Kelly's allegations. These are the allegations being made by Michael Glenn Stein, who's the person who says that he was solicited to kill Robert and sent to Butner to do it.
I'm thinking that R. Kelly had some money up in jail up until this point. He was able to pay some bills, take care of home, have a commissary packed, serve his time, knowing that he has a king's ransom. But when the money get low, that's when people start considering other ways to get money. And the tell-all book from R. Kelly would sell billions of copies. He already did songs testifying, but a memoir, a book, and his own words speaking about people in the entertainment industry, it'll make the Harvey Weinstein case look a whole lot smaller than it actually is.
So why are people this desperate to silence Kelly now? According to Brindley, it's because Kelly knows too much, way too much, and he was about to expose some very powerful people who are allegedly linked to the government itself.
Mr. Stein, in his declaration, has set forth the reason that was given. The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice.
And here's where Jay-Z's name comes crashing back into the mix. In that same sworn statement, the hitman allegedly said this wasn't the first time someone tried to end Kelly's life. And the way it's being framed, there's serious suspicion that folks connected to Roc Nation could be pulling strings behind the scenes. Something massive is being covered up. And Kelly might have been seconds away from blowing the whole thing wide open.
And he told us in extraordinary detail that this is not the first instance, that this happens all the time.
Now here's where things get real messy. The last time someone said there was an attempt on R. Kelly's life behind bars, it came straight from his former cellmate, Ronnie Bo. And what Ronnie said? Straight up wild. He claims Kelly told him personally that Jay-Z was trying to get him murdered. Ronnie went on Hip Hop News Uncensored and spilled all about the crazy tension between Kelly and Jay-Z during their Best of Both Worlds tour. According to him, Kelly felt like Jay was acting insecure, low-key trying to sabotage him while pretending to be cool on stage.
He just said how much conflict they was experiencing with each other, like even during the process of putting the album together, but especially on tour, you know, like they kept having petty disagreements. And he felt like, you know, Jay-Z, you know, kept saying things along the lines that, like, man, you not bigger than me, like you act like you bigger than me. And he felt like Jay-Z was kind of insecure because R. Kelly at the time was technically bigger than him.
But here's where it turns next level. Ronnie said Kelly was receiving death threats while still on tour with Jay, and Kelly believed Jay was trying to sacrifice him.
He felt like, you know, on one of the shows, one of the events when they was in Madison Square Garden, prior to that event, he said like days before the event, he was getting death threats that he felt like was coming from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z was trying to basically, it may sound outrageous, but he felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him killed for whatever reason. I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati sacrifice type shit. I don't know. He don't know. You know what I mean? But how he felt.
That's a heavy word to throw around. But Ronnie swears Kelly felt like he was being set up to be taken out by someone close. And get this, Ronnie Bo was supposed to speak on all this publicly during a Breakfast Club interview, but that appearance blocked. And who did Ronnie say was behind shutting it down? Jay-Z.
Jay a pretty powerful dude in that industry, you know what I mean? And I'm experiencing that now because I was supposed to be setting up an interview with the Breakfast Club, and they said that iHeart wouldn't allow me to do it because of the publicity that surrounded my name. And you know, it may sound far-fetched, but I know that Jay-Z has connections to where he can blacklist.
But wait, it goes even deeper. Ronnie didn't stop there. He claimed the real reason Jay-Z is so desperate to silence Kelly is because Kelly might expose something way darker. Ronnie brought up Jay-Z's own sketchy past with young women in the industry. Everyone knows R. Kelly was involved with the late Aaliyah, but Ronnie said folks look the other way when it comes to Jay. Ronnie pointed fingers at Jay's alleged ties to both Aaliyah and Foxy Brown when they were still underage, and said Jay's history with young women has been swept under the rug for years.
R. Kelly pointed out to me is that, like, he basically was saying, like, just look at how hard they coming down on me with all the go on in the industry, and look at how they never said nothing about how when Jay-Z was messing with Foxy Brown, she was 15. You know, everybody knew that, but nobody ever bashed him about it like they bashed me over Aaliyah. And he was basically saying he never even really messed with Aaliyah on the level that everybody think, you know, he messed with her on.
Now, we don't know how much of that is R. Kelly's words, but one thing for sure is looking like older men in entertainment can't have young female women that they're guiding. You can't be a mentor to a young chick or else you're going to be suspect. That's where we at with it. If you a grown man and you mentoring a young woman in the entertainment business, whether that's hip hop or whatever, people automatically are going to assume that y'all got some weirdo stuff going on. That goes for Big Pun and Remy Ma, Jay-Z, Foxy Brown, Beyonce, Aaliyah, Rihanna. Jay-Z mentored way more young girls than R. Kelly, but somehow he's free and R. Kelly's sitting in jail. I don't want to see Jay-Z go to jail. I don't want to see nobody go to jail, but if you're guilty of a crime that a lot of other people are guilty of, and you the only one sitting in jail, there's a problem with that.
Now, to be clear, this don't mean Kelly's innocent, but let's talk facts. Jay-Z somehow dodged all the heat while Kelly took the full fall. And it's not just Ronnie saying this either. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, recently came forward saying the whole industry knew what Jay was up to back then. But nobody's talking because everyone's scared.
Jay-Z should have kept his mouth closed. Because everybody in the industry, they not going to tell you. They not going to get out and say that because we have this no snitching, no telling the truth, or don't say nothing type of culture. But everybody know in the industry that Jay-Z was talking to young girls. See, I know in 99 and early 2000, he was dealing with Beyonce. I didn't know Jay-Z was 30 years old though. And Beyonce was 17 and 18. See, Jack could have told it, but I saw it. Personally, I was there. At the clubs, at Eugene's, at the next games. Or Miss Gaines somebody say, yeah, that's too old, Gene. Yeah, I'll beat him up. I talked to my daughter, he that old. She's 17, 18 years old, in his 30s. Oh, don't let me catch you.
But not everyone in the industry is staying quiet. A few bold voices have stepped up to call out Jay-Z, and one of the loudest, Nas. He didn't hold back when he went on Wendy Williams' radio show and dropped some serious claims. Nas was actually one of the first to suggest that Jay-Z might have been caught up in the same kind of shady behavior as R. Kelly. Nas straight up said Jay knew what was going on with Kelly back in the day and still chose to look the other way.
Valentino giving me super style. That's not what I'm going to do. Yeah, I could have put up movies. I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about, made fun of it, said, yeah, Jay's hanging out. When Jay and I was in there doing basketball boys, you can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. No. You can't tell me, you won't sit here and tell me that working on that album, that he ain't never seen no 14-year-old girl come in the vicinity.
Wendy jumped in too, saying it's basically impossible to work that closely with Kelly and not notice the mess happening behind the scenes. But Nas wasn't buying the excuses. He said he didn't believe that whole I didn't know act. If Jay-Z stayed long enough to record a whole collab album with Kelly, then chances are he wasn't just standing on the sidelines. According to Nas, Jay-Z might have been involved in the same exact stuff.
My belief is that anybody who's worked with him and been in his cipher has seen it go down.
And I'll tell you for him. But if I sit there and did an album about women with him, I'm definitely maybe indulgent. He had to be indulgent for 14-year-olds, man.
Now let's swing back to the attempted hit on Kelly. This ain't about petty beef or old tour drama. Kelly's legal team made it clear he was almost killed because he holds serious dirt, and not just on celebrities. We're talking stuff that could rock the feds, the prison system, and even the Department of Justice. So how does Jay-Z fit into that picture? Here's where it starts getting real suspicious. Jay-Z's got some deep connections to government figures, especially through his Roc Nation president and right-hand woman, Desiree Perez. And Desiree, she's not just a music exec, she's also a former federal informant. According to court records uncovered by the New York Daily News, back in 1994, Desiree got busted with 35 kilos of cocaine and conspiracy to distribute. That's not small time. The charges tied her to a major drug ring, running from New York all the way to Florida and Puerto Rico. So let's not pretend Roc Nation is just a music label. Jay-Z's circle is full of street ties, old criminal connections, and people who've cut deals to stay in the game. And if Desiree flipped once, who's to say she isn't still playing both sides now? Now here's where things get extra grimy. Desiree Perez's husband, Juan B. Perez, isn't just some background figure. He's got deep cartel ties, and he's been tight with Jay-Z since the early 90s. These two co-founded the 40/40 Club together, and years later, Jay handed him the keys to Roc Nation Sports, making Juan the president. But their bond started long before Roc Nation ever became a thing. So you really gotta ask, what kind of business were Jay and Juan really running back in the day? Let's be real. It wasn't just about music.
When you started selling drugs?
I can't say. I don't like the way you're saying that. Let's say hustling. That sounds such a harsh way to put it.
But it is harsh.
I can't be a politician. I'm too real. I don't want to talk about it. That's the best thing.
Never?
No. Never.
There's a possibility that Jay-Z's being used. This dude, OG Juan, been Jay-Z's right-hand man for a long time, but it's probably that he's the puppet master and using Jay-Z to make millions, if not billions of dollars. When it's all said and done, Jay-Z could be like Sly Stone, and he was broke all along. Or just like Diddy, everybody thought Diddy was this big CEO. He ran Ciroc, Revolt, and Bad Boy. Come to find out, he didn't have ownership of none of that stuff. He was just a puppet. It sounds like somebody's pulling Jay-Z's strings. R. Kelly knows this, and if he tell his side of the story, it's game over for the Carters.
But before we get back to how this connects to R. Kelly, here's the twist. What really happened after Desiree got caught with 35 kilos of cocaine? According to Variety, Desiree got off super light, just 5 years probation. Why? Because she flipped and became a full-on federal informant. A 2014 piece from the New York Daily News even labeled Desiree as the Fed's star mole. That same article referenced a June 11, 1996 court hearing, where Assistant U.S. Attorney Lawrence Feld straight up praised Desiree in front of the judge, saying she had worked closely with agents and deserved to stay out of prison. The article also described her as a Manhattan nightclub manager with a long criminal history and with tight connections to Jay-Z. But here's the shady part. That whole article, it was scrubbed from the internet. Yep, gone. But people were quick. Screenshots are still floating all over social media. And let's not act like this was some internet rumor. Dame Dash himself said he was shook by Jay-Z's move. When Jay hired Desiree as Roc Nation's president, Dame went on Sway in the Morning and basically said, yo, this ain't it. He even pointed out that a bunch of people in Jay's circle, like Rockefeller co-founder Kareem Biggs Burke, have had serious beef with federal agencies in the past. So what exactly is Jay surrounding himself with? Informants, cartel links, and a whole lot of people who know how to move in silence.
This is the one time that the paper did scare me, and I was like, I have to be some truth to it, is when I read about his affiliation with, informants, that he's in business with certain people. And it's tricky for me to say, but just based on where I'm from, I can't have nothing to do with that. And then just based on...
Do you believe that though?
I don't know, it's paperwork.
Yeah.
So it's not to believe, you know what I'm saying? There's paperwork, so that part of it scares me, because I know Biggs is in jail. I know Irv Gotti's been harassed for years over shit he didn't do. I know they've been with me for years. So it just means I need to stay over here. You know what I'm saying? So I love Jay, but let's say I find out that any of that, I can't for him at all, because that's how I was raised. It ain't no disrespect. I don't know how anyone else was raised. That's it. It ain't nothing to talk about. And it's real serious for me, because your friend, my man's in jail for 3 years over weed. The feds is really on me. It's not like they not. And where I'm from, that's tolerated at all.
So let's get this straight. Jay-Z bringing a federal informant with a wild criminal background in to run his empire? That's not just shady, that's spooky. Desiree Perez ain't just any exec. She's someone who's cut deals with the feds, and now she's running Roc Nation like it's business as usual? Now stack all these pieces together, and it's starting to look real calculated. R. Kelly's near-death situation? That wasn't some freak accident. His lawyer straight up said, this was a targeted hit. Kelly's sitting on some nasty secrets, and they don't just involve celebrities. He's got info that could shake the feds, the prison system, and even the Department of Justice. And Jay-Z? He's looking real close to the fire. His decision to put someone like Desiree Perez, who's flipped for the government before, at the head of Roc Nation?
Oh my God, I just don't know. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. Leave those comments down below and let me know. Do y'all think Jay-Z is trying to kill R. Kelly? Do y'all feel like R. Kelly is getting everything that he deserved for doing those things that he allegedly did? R. Kelly still got a lot of fans out there, and I'm surprised that Jay-Z still got a whole lot of fans, even though these allegations coming out left and right about him as well. They said he was on the Cowboy Carter tour, and when he started performing, people enjoyed his set way better than that Cowboy Beyonce stuff that they was forced to listen to when Jay-Z performed. A lot of people, spirits got lifted, and that music sounded good, and it was quality, and people like the old Jay-Z. We don't know what the new Jay-Z got to offer. He might come out with a rock and roll album. We just gotta wait and see. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. I got so much love for y'all. And for all you beautiful ladies out there, y'all already know I risk my motherfucking life.
Risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl.